that back block gospel, pain in every line. Young boys lose they soul just trying to survive. Mama praying hard while the sirens outside, and the bros still slide, even knowing death close by. It's that real hood poetry, blood on their ambition. Everybody got dreams, barely anybody listen. Cold nights made men out of reckless decisions. Now we wearing trauma like designer edition. I come from hallways smelling like weed and hopelessness. Broken elevators, roaches by the stove and shit. OGs gave survival lessons more than scholarships. Learned to read a room before I learned relationships. Seen killers with good hearts and pastors with dirty hands. Seen loyal dudes starve while snakes advance. That's why I move different, I don't trust easy. Too many people switch sides once the love weakened. Bro died 22, he still posts his pictures. His mama aging fast, pain hit different. Funeral full of real tears and fake scriptures. Everybody scream family till them tables shifting. And shorty want the old me, I can't return it. That version died somewhere between survival and fear. Now it's long nights, hoodie on 1,000-yard stairs. Still hearing gunshots when the block get too clear. It's that back block gospel, pain in every line. Young boys lose they soul just trying to survive. Mama praying hard while the sirens outside, and the bros still slide, even knowing death close by. It's that real hood poetry, blood on their ambition. Everybody got dreams, barely anybody listen. Cold nights made men out of reckless decisions. Now we wearing trauma like designer edition. We grew up too fast, ain't no childhood stories. Just police lights flash in the neighborhood morning. Had to learn composure while my stomach was growling. Still in school fresh somehow, that survival instinct. And envy real dangerous where I'm from. People clap for you quieter when you become something. Same dudes you fed start acting like you owe something. That's why my circle's small and the blunt's still burning. I done seen women love dudes that emotionally drowning. Street fame outside, whole soul crumbling. Everybody tough till depression start coming in. Now you drinking every night just to silence suffering. But we still laugh loud on the corner somehow. Still crack jokes while the system hold us down. Still dream big even when hope run out. That's the type strength they don't talk about. Yeah, from the outside it just look like noise, but every block got stories buried underneath it. Ashes in my Nike tech. Ashes in my Nike tech, pain all in the fabric. Whole hood traumatized, we just learn to mask it. Youngins outside wildin' like tomorrow never happened. Cause death been too normal where we trapped in. Ashes in my Nike tech, smoke in my lungs, dark thoughts in my chest. Still thank God even when life get reckless, cause survival turned us cold and protective. I watched bro lose faith right after his appeal. Now he barely talk, just stare through the pills. System took years from him before he learned to heal. Now his daughter growing up through video calls still. And the block hot again, sirens every night. Mothers praying overtime every time we outside. Cause one wrong move can change your whole life. That's the type pressure we normalize. I got homies that smile but emotionally drowning. Liquor store therapy every weekend crowded. Everybody carrying pain but nobody announces. So the anger leak out through violence and shouting. And me, I'm just trying not to lose myself fully. Heart staying soft when the world move crooked. Heart trusting love when betrayal look familiar. Now my heart move cautious around everybody. Ashes in my Nike tech, pain all in the fabric. Whole hood traumatized, we just learn to mask it. Youngins outside wildin' like tomorrow never happened. Cause death been too normal where we trapped in. Ashes in my Nike smoke in my lungs, dark thoughts in my chest. Still thank God even when life get reckless, cause survival turned us cold and protective. Remember cold nights with the heat barely working, mama stressing bills while pretending it was perfect. I learned hustle from necessity, not from purpose. That's why ambition in my hood come urgent, and envy dangerous when people feel stuck. Seen brothers throw away loyalty for quick bucks. Seen women stop believing in real love, cause too many men emotionally corrupt. But underneath the ego and the flex online, most these dudes hurting just trying to survive. Old generation got trauma in their eyes, still acting fearless while internally tired. So when I rap this, it ain't entertainment, it's real life pressure from survival environments. Every scar got history attached to the silence. Every bar got pain underneath the time. Yeah. We came from places where healing looked weak, so we learned how to suffer quietly. Same block, same corner, same odds, different outcomes. I think about that every single day. We came up on the same concrete, same broken street lights, same ice cream truck in summer, same mamas working doubles, same daddies missing, same hunger. Not just food, I mean the other kind, the kind that makes a young man reach for anything. It feels like power when he ain't got none. Me and Dre used to talk about leaving. He said he'd own the business, I said I'd own the mic. Both of us meant it, life just had different plans depending on the night. He caught a case at 19, public defender. Prosecutor treated him like a statistic and won. 3 years in, came out different behind the eyes. That place does something to a person's life. I watched it happen slowly after he got home, like something locked back up, even with the door open wide.
Same soil grew, same rain fell,
same prayers went up from the same porch steps.
How come some of us made it,
and some of us just became the story people tell?
Same soil, same roots,
different weather, I guess.
Some trees bend, some break. Lord knows I've been bold.
Marcus didn't make it to 24. Wrong block, wrong night, wrong nothing really. Just geography and timing in a city. They never put enough value on the lives inside it. I heard about it secondhand on a Tuesday. Went quiet for about a week, told nobody. Grief in this environment ain't always loud. Sometimes it's just driving around listening to old music. His mama still waves at me from the porch, and that wave carries more weight than she probably knows. Like she's waving at the possibility, the version of a son it maybe almost was. I can't look too long, I feel the guilt in it. Survivor's guilt is real, even when you didn't survive anything dramatic. Just made different decisions, different mornings. Was it discipline or was it just dumb luck? I'm honest.
Same soil grew, same rain fell,
same prayers went up from the same porch steps.
How come some of us made it,
and some of us just became the story people tell?
Same soil, same roots,
different weather, I guess. Some trees bend, some break.
Lord knows I've been bold.
I don't tell these stories for credentials or to prove that my past got texture and weight. I tell them cause erasure is its own kind of violence, and these men deserve to exist past their worst day. The narrative out here reduces everything, turns a full human life into a cautionary tale. Like their purpose was to be a lesson for somebody else. That ain't a life, that's just a prop in somebody else's story. I carry their names when I enter rooms, they never got to enter. That's not performance, that's the only honest thing I got. I come from something real, something difficult, something specific, and I made it somewhere. But making it ain't forgot. Still got the same number in my phone from '09. Still drive through there when I need to remember what's real. Same soil made me, same soil marked me. Some roots grow down so deep, you never fully heal. I'm not the inspiring one, I'm just the one still here. And that comes with something heavy that nobody talks about. When you make it out, you carry everyone who didn't.
Every single day, single day. Same zip code,
different funerals,
same mothers,
same mothers,
same grief,
different names on the shirts.
I made it out of something that didn't have to let me go.
I don't take that light,
I don't take that life.
I don't take that light. Yeah. He used to sit in that same chair every morning. Coffee black newspaper folded a specific way. Glasses low on his nose, reading like it was a ritual, which it was. Everything he did had that quality, like he understood that how you move through small things is something about how you move through everything. I learned more from watching him exist than from anything that was ever formally taught to me. He wasn't loud about what he knew, didn't need the room to acknowledge him. Just moved through his life with the steady kind of confidence that came from actually knowing who he was. I didn't understand how rare that was when I was young. You don't catalog what's permanent, you just assume it stays. The call came on a Wednesday, and the strange thing about grief, the thing nobody prepares you for, is how ordinary the day looks afterward. Sun still came up, traffic still moved. The world kept its schedule like nothing fundamental had shifted. But something had, the specific weight of knowing he was somewhere in the world just gone. Not relocated, not unavailable, gone. And the chair is still there.
I can't move the chair.
My aunt asked about it once, and I didn't know how to explain that the chair is the last physical argument that he was real and occupied space. And I'm not ready to lose that argument yet. Yeah. He told me once, I must have been 15, maybe 16. He said the most dangerous thing a man can do is spend his whole life performing himself for an audience that doesn't know him. Said real freedom is being the same person in every room you walk into. I didn't have the frame for it then. I wrote it down because his voice had a weight that told me to. And I've been unpacking it ever since. Finding new rooms where it applies, finding new ways I haven't lived up to it yet, finding new reasons to keep trying. I talk to him still, not in a mystical way. I'm not sure what I believe about all that. More like I narrate things to him in my head. When something happens I think he would've had something to say about. I'll catch myself thinking, I gotta call and tell him. And then the whole thing lands again, fresh for just a second. Before I adjust, grief does that. It doesn't diminish, it just gets more familiar. You learn to carry it in a way that doesn't stop you from moving, but you never put it down. I'm the age now he was when I first remember him clearly. And I catch myself in the mirror sometimes, in the way I hold my shoulders, in the specific way I pause before I respond to something, in the patience I'm still learning to have. And I think, there you are, that's what he left. Not the chair,
not the photographs.
still moving through me, trying to become the man he kept insisting I already was. She worked the early shift and came home to cook. Tired in a way that lived behind her eyes permanently, and still asked about my day like she had reserve left, like her exhaustion had an exception clause written into it for me. I didn't understand the math of that when I was young. Thought that's just what mothers did, like it was automatic. Didn't register the cost of it until I got old enough to understand what tired actually means after a full day of surviving. She stretched money in ways that should have been impossible. Kept the lights on through things I only found out about later, when I was old enough to hear the real version. of years I'd lived through, thinking everything was fine, because she decided I would think everything was fine. That was a choice she made deliberately, to absorb the weight so I could move light through a childhood that could have felt a whole lot different. I put her through things I'm still accounting for, years where I tested every boundary she set, where I confused her love for weakness and her patience for an absence of limits. She never stopped, that's the part that sits with me. Never once made me feel like her love was conditional, even when I gave her every reason to condition it. That kind of love doesn't come without a cost to the person giving it, and I didn't ask about that cost for a long time. I didn't even know to ask. She held the line when everything was pulling, held it quietly, didn't ask for recognition. I see it now, I see all of it now, everything she carried, so I wouldn't have to feel the way. She held the line, she always held the line. I remember she used to pray out loud in the kitchen, not performing, just talking to God, like a continuation of a conversation that had been going on for years between two people who had an understanding. I used to half hear it from the hallway, catch my name in the middle of something bigger, and keep moving because I was young and didn't have the stillness for it. Now I give something real to stand in that hallway again, to actually heal what she was asking for on my behalf, what she was carrying into that kitchen every morning and releasing the only way she knew how. She didn't talk about her own pain much, redirected those conversations with a skill I only recognize in retrospect. That's how you were doing, so you wouldn't think to ask how she was doing. Loved in the direction that mostly pointed away from herself. We talk different now, more honest, more even. She lets me take care of things sometimes, which took her a while. The receiving part, women like her get so practiced in giving that being given to feels like an imposition. I'm learning how to insist gently, how to show up for someone who spent decades making sure you never needed to. I can't give back what she gave. The accounting doesn't work that way, but I can show up now with the full understanding of what it cost her, and make sure she knows I know that I see it, that I always saw it, even when I acted like I didn't. She deserves to hear that in plain language, so here it is, plain as I know how to say it. Thank you doesn't cover it, but it's where I'm starting.